Today I'm talking to Michelle Woodhouse from Environmental Defense for World Water Day, which is held to raise awareness of the 2 billion people currently living without access to safe water. One core focus of World Water Day is to inspire action towards a sustainable development goal of water and sanitation for all by 2030. Hi, Mrs. Woodhouse. Happy World Water Day. Can you please tell us a bit about environmental defense?
Sure. Environmental Defense is an organization that is based in Ontario, but it works on issues going on in the environment that are affecting Canada, as well as across Canada, and tackles things like plastics and toxics and what's going on with climate change. And of course, in the water program that I manage, taking care of the Great Lakes is another big issue that we work on. And essentially, we just try and take what the public's concerns are and do some investigation about some of the different environmental issues that we're facing and try and get governments to help take action that will have positive outcomes for the environment and to help raise awareness with the public about the issues that are going on so that more people like yourself want to get involved and help out.
Cool. The Great Lakes holds over 20% of the world's surface fresh water. What threatens it?
There's a lot that's threatening the Great Lakes right now. So we're really lucky to have the Great Lakes here. And in Ontario, we border 4 out of 5 of them. And there is a lot that's happening with them that we have to address. The lakes have seen a lot of different issues happen over the years and have seen a lot of improvement. Like we've cleaned up a lot of pollution out of the lakes, and we've even saved lakes like Lake Erie before. But now because of a lot of increase in population and development and industry activities, the lakes are facing still pollution issues to do with toxic chemicals entering them. As well as there's pipelines that are threatening some of the Great Lakes. Even things like in Lake Erie, there's something that like this green gooey sticky stuff that's happening in the lake, and it's causing a big issue in the lake, and it comes mostly from farming fields. From when you grow the food, you have to put fertilizer on it, and after that, the water, when it rains, it runs off into the lake. So that's causing a really big issue with Lake Erie right now. And so we're trying to work on that at Environmental Defense. It's called algae, and it's really not nice stuff. So that's something that's also affecting them. Climate change is also, I'd say, one of the bigger things that's impacting the Great Lakes right now, because it's warming the waters and it's changing the ecosystems. And it's going to cause more flooding in the area and sometimes more drought. So we really have a lot of work to do on making sure that as climate change continues to evolve, that we're doing everything we can to help preserve the Great Lakes and help adapt the areas and the communities that are going to be impacted by all of that. And I'd say another issue that should be probably more people should know about is how much plastic is in the Great Lakes. And so like the water bottles that we use and different things like that, there's a lot of plastic that is entering. And I think that that's an issue that's in the entire environment. So we really need industries we need to stop using plastic and use alternatives that are more environmentally friendly. I'll leave it there because there's other issues to talk about, but that's quite a few as is.
How does environmental defense help protect it?
Well, in the program that I'm in, if there's an issue that's happening, like for example, the one that I spoke about to do with Lake Erie and the algae in the lake, then what we do is we'll do research and analysis, and we'll look into the issue and investigate what can be done to help create a better outcome. And then we'll talk to the public about that and raise awareness with the public so that the public and environmental defense can change different policies and laws within government so that governments will invest more money and more of their time and their energy into addressing the issues. So we're kind of working between like people like you and your mom who's at home and the issues that you all care about, and bringing those issues to the government like Justin Trudeau, and asking for better outcomes.
The theme of this year's World Day is groundwater, which is where most people on Earth get their water from. Does environmental defense work to protect that as well?
Yeah, we actually did work that had to do with water takings and taking water from the ground for companies like Nestle to bottle the water in plastic bottles. And there was a lot of resistance against that to make sure that it was being done sustainably. So we helped to call for the government to basically put it's called a moratorium to stop taking water takings from the ground until we could do a proper assessment and figure out what exactly would be sustainable and what wouldn't be, as well as that that fight that we were a part of made it so that communities have more of a say in whether or not companies and corporations like Nestle can take water from the community. So it did give more power to the community, and that was a positive outcome of that.
Everyone should have access to safe, clean drinking water. Even in Canada, there are 36 long-term drinking advisories in 29 Indigenous communities across the country. A single drinking water advisory can mean as many as 5,000 people lack access to safe, clean drinking water. The federal government is working on cleaning them all up. Is environmental defense involved in that work at all?
No, environmental defense hasn't been involved specifically in that work, but environmental defense has supported the work that's being done and led by Indigenous communities and First Nations communities to work with the government to end those long-term drinking water advisories. And there is a lot more work that still needs to be done. And environmental defense, along with other groups, will continue to call on the government and support the First Nations communities in making sure that the government follows through on ending those drinking water advisories as soon as possible.
What do you wish everyone knew about World Water Day?
I just think everybody should know that water is life. Water is the beginning of all life. We all depend on water. It's something that I think in places where we live around the Great Lakes, a lot of people take for granted all of the fresh water that we have here and don't realize how important and lucky and blessed that we are to live in this part of the world. And we really need to, as a society, see water for more of like a living being rather than just an object, so that we can treat it better and with more respect, because we all need water. And so I think that also everybody should make sure that they get out in the water as much as possible, or go by the water and look out and enjoy it, because that's also important.
Thanks so much for joining me today, Miss Woodhouse. Click the link below to donate to environmental defense, and remember, together kids can save the world. Please like and subscribe.
Thank you so much, Robert. Happy World Water Day.
Thank you.